Starting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if I put anything for games for me. Did I play anything? Oh yeah, I did. I just remember what I put in there. Right,
Okay.
right. I was just thinking to myself like,
We are live. No, are we?
I don't know. Let me check.
We are live. We're live.
Are we?
Beautiful.
Hello, and welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is episode I don't even know 239. I'm guessing. Am I correct, Raj? 39.
Let me think now. Isn't it 238? No.
No, 239, isn't it? Is
Okay,
it?
let's say 239.
I think
It
I just
could
made the show. I think I just made the thumbnail. I think I remember making 239.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. You
Maybe
guys,
I'm wrong.
you guys
I
in
could be wrong.
the chat, tell us in the comments.
Good
Did we get it
start.
correct? We could be wrong. I mean, if we are wrong, I don't blame myself. Obviously, it's everyone else's fault.
Of course, but
Of
of
course.
course.
How could I be
Yeah.
wrong? Sorry, I keep looking down. I'm just setting up some stuff. So because we like prior to the podcast starting, I was just doing some stuff, so I didn't have everything ready. I was taking a nap actually, and then yeah, so we're good to go. I think I've just have a few more places I want to share the link that we're live, and then yeah, let's continue. So Raj,
This is good.
let's
Yeah.
Ocean Garden is here. Welcome, Ocean. How are you
Yeah.
doing
I
this
want
this
to.
fine evening?
Yeah. Hope you're fine, buddy boy, and I hope
Yes.
your new car is doing well.
Ooh
If
la
I
la.
remember correctly, you bought a Honda, didn't you? Which is a good choice. Honda is very stable when it comes to engines and whatnot.
Very nice
I
car.
talked with a guy the other day at the gym. He was a former race driver when it comes to motorcycles. He was
Mm-hmm.
out in the circuit in Europe. I think it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's about my age now, and yeah, so we talked about bikes, of course, and that's when I started to feel I miss my motorcycle, you know. But it's nice. So, but with that said, yeah, sure, I can start to talk about my week.
Go for it.
It's been a good week, I think. Kind of one of those that you know. Not too fast paced and not too slow either. I would say, you know the word in
Mm-hmm.
Swedish, right? Q. What is it when it's
Lagom. Lagom.
Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Lagom. Thank you very much.
My
Yeah,
lagom
exactly.
is on point, Raj. You know this.
Yes, yes, it is beautiful. Love it. Yes, it's been Lagom. It's been really good. As said here, it's still well, it's still quite warm. It changes a bit from day to day, of course, but for being like the beginning of November now, can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine?
Yeah.
I think the weather has been quite nice. We had some sun, and it's been some nice walks in addition to that.
Mm-hmm.
I yeah, been at the gym as usual. Usual. Sorry, losing words. And hi, Miss ANR. Hope you're fine.
Hey, welcome to the chat.
Yeah, welcome to the chat. So yeah, it's been good. I've been productive as I most of the time is if nothing comes in between. This afternoon, something came in between. It was typical one of those things when it started to mess up when with my since I have AMD, I'm using the Radeon software, and it started to get a hiccup, and I needed to reinstall, and it didn't really want to. Yeah, those kind of problems. And after that, of course, I had problems with what I thought was BattleNet, because I think I told you that Activision sent a code when it comes to Black Ops 6, as you're also still watching here when it comes to the campaign in Black Ops 6 in the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was, BattleNet, the actual launcher that was causing troubles, but it was the fact that I needed to download, and I think I fixed quite some when it comes to the Radeon software, at least twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't realize that I had a bit of an older driver. But
Mm-hmm.
when I checked later on, I saw, okay, it's an older driver. So that made it impossible for me to start Call of Duty for some reason. I don't know. You know how things starts. When something starts to go bad, it kind of
Mm-hmm.
follows sometimes. It's just another thing that, give you a hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
But it's solved now. I realized, okay, it's just that because I started to uninstall BattleNet and reinstall it again. I verified the game files, yeah. It's really weird because it just hi, by the way, also Nala, welcome to the chat as well. Hope
Welcome
you're
to the
fine.
chat, Nalu.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Next podcast on the 13th might be so. Yes,
Why the
it's
13th?
a
What's going on? Is there something why it's the 13th?
well, I guess it's just thinking about next week. It is Wednesday 13 next week, so
Oh
most
right, I
likely
thought it
yes.
was like something surprise.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
Who knows? Maybe
I
you're
thought
planning
there was a
something.
special day on the
Yeah,
13th or something.
it could be. Is it a special day on November 13th? Well, it will be on December here in Sweden. Then it's Lucia, Lucia, the old tradition where la da di 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 di. They go with lights and candles in their hair and sing and everything. And yeah, yeah, that's an old thing. We talk about that later.
Mhm.
Your birthday. Yeah, you see, it was something special. Okay.
Oh, okay. We'll have a very extra special episode for you,
Yeah.
darling.
This is gonna happen. If everything goes as planned and we do have the podcast on Wednesday next week,
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah.
for sure we will sing for you. That we will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right, Q? We'll
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that. We can
definitely.
do that together. We've never done that. So
We
we should
can,
do
we could,
that.
we can definitely do together. Definitely.
Yeah. But with that said, just to come to a conclusion about the week, it's been good. I think it's been good. The weekend was also fine.
Mm-hmm.
Adam got back his car now. They came once more. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, here we are again. Here's the car keys. I hope it's going to be fine this time. So he came by Monday evening, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had dinner with us and then he drove home. So now his Pontiac should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The brakes are fixed and everything. So yeah, because I mean, sometime soon he will have to, stop driving since it's a seasonal car.
Mm-hmm.
Just, no winter tires or anything. Which
Mm-hmm.
reminds me that I will most likely on Friday go and, change tires on our car. You know, it is what it is. Because soon, last year, I think I told you guys that I was so late that it started to snow here before I was able to change the tires. I don't want that to happen again because it can go really fast, and then boom, all of a sudden it's just snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Which also I just want to add that I might go late, like the end of next week, or it could actually be, yeah, it could be a Wednesday. I'm gonna let you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about going and visit my mom actually up in the north part of Sweden.
As you
Haven't seen
should.
her. Yeah, I haven't seen her quite some time, and we have been talking about that. Even though she's coming down to celebrate Christmas with my sister and
Mm-hmm.
her family, and then gonna celebrate New Year's Eve with us over here. But still, uh, yeah, haven't been up there in my old neighborhood, so to say,
The old
for a
stomping
very long
grounds.
time. Yeah, yeah, it is like that. But
uh,
I guess that's my saying. I'm also waiting, when it comes to like technical stuff, since I mentioned technical problems. I am waiting for that moment when the Black Friday is gonna kick in.
by the
I
processor.
saw, yeah, because for yeah, the CPU stuff definitely. It's not only yeah, exactly. So I hope that's gonna happen soon. Actually, I just got a mail the other day when it comes to, you know, uh, Black Friday already when it comes to certain company that is doing some good plugins for the music program that I'm using, like the DAW, the Logic program. So that was quite early, I have to say. It was like, wait, oh, stop.
And
That's,
suspend.
yep, wait. It's a bit too early. At least 1 or 2 weeks too early, but we'll see. So that's kind of
I'll see.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what about you, my friend? What's up?
Well, I'm having goulash
Yeah,
and quinoa
good.
for
Hmm.
dinner because as you guys can see,
That's good.
I'm eating because I literally was taking a nap. It's been an interesting an interesting week thus far. I think like speaking of the weather, like it has been colder here for us in the UK. The temperature has started to dip down a bit. When you
Yeah,
go out, you're more likely to put on a bigger coat and so forth. Whereas
true.
prior
Hmm.
to now, I just go in a sweater or t-shirt like this and I'll be fine. So you're having to cover up a lot more.
Yeah,
So I switched out my we have different coats for different seasons. So I switched out to my winter coats I'm using now
good.
and so forth. So the weather's all good and dandy. Family's all good. Everyone's all right. Nothing really new on that front. The guinea pigs are doing great. They're, lo-
Oh,
they
yeah. Starting to get into the routine, maybe having
yes,
those and everything. Also for Thai, especially, I
he's
guess.
loving them. He wakes
Yeah.
up in the morning. He wants to feed them. He has to clean up their cage. He loves it. They're his babies to an extent. I think last night we were cleaning the guinea pig cage. I should say he was because what I do is I just supervise because it's his
Yeah.
responsibility to take care of them. So I'm just there to make sure he's doing everything properly.
Well, that's good.
And so he's doing his chores, and I'm sitting there watching the football on the telly while he's doing it. And
Mm.
after he's finished, he's feeding them. So we've got two guinea pigs. There's Poppy and Kitty, and Kitty is this small black, it's black and brown. This is mostly black with like a brown stripe going around it. It's sort of like back
Ah.
or something. And Poppy's brown, like
Mm.
Alex calls it ginger, but it's a brown guinea pig, right? I know what she's talking about. Anyway, so so basically, um, so Kitty is this brown guinea pig. Sorry, Poppy's this brown guinea pig, and Poppy's a scaredy cat. Puppy doesn't really do much. It's afraid of everyone. It hides in this little corner. When it sees food, it looks at the food. It tries to come near, and then it's like, nah, bro,
Yeah.
that's too risky, high risk. I'll wait till you're gone.
Oh.
Kitty's not. Kitty's greedy. Kitty eats anything. He doesn't care. She doesn't care who comes to give her the food. She's just like, look, I'll risk it.
Wow.
You know, life or death. Food is most important thing. So he's feeding them last night, and for some reasons, like their personality switched. So Kitty's eating some lettuce that Ty had given her. Puppy comes over to Kitty. Puppy starts taking the lettuce from Kitty's mouth.
Oh.
So Ty's like, he's like, Puppy, no, Puppy, you shouldn't do that. That's not nice, Puppy. That's that's not nice to take your sister's lettuce, even though she's fat. You shouldn't. I was just like, wow. I
Oh,
wish
he
I was.
said that. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I was recording it. I was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow. I can't believe he just said that because like he says, Kitty's fat because she eats everything, right? So he's like, oh, he'd be like, Kitty, you're so fat. You
Bro.
need to stop eating so much and all this sort of stuff, right? Granted, keep in mind, Matthias's his whole life is around food. Like this boy, literally, he wakes up in the morning. The first thing is breakfast. You know, um, in between breakfast and lunch, look, I need to have two lunches and two dinners. And just I think past week he was crying one night because he was so upset he couldn't have a second dinner. I was like, mate, you have to go to
Oh.
bed. There's no you're going to bed now. It's bedtime. You know, you can't have another dinner just before bedtime because you're not gonna sleep properly. You know, because I did allow him to do it one night where I said, okay, fine, you can have dinner, but you're gonna have to stay up an extra hour to try to digest the food that you've eaten. And my guy, he was like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Yeah, definitely. And then he's staying up the extra hour and he's sleeping on himself. I'm like, dude, you gotta wake up. You can't go to sleep now. He's like, well, I'm tired. I was like, mate, I told you, you're gonna have to stay up if you eat some food now because your body has to digest it. You're not gonna get a good enough rest. So after that, I was like, nah, I'm not doing it again. Nope, you can't stay. You can't stay up, so you can't eat just before bed. It's not right. And my guy, he's trying to tell them that they shouldn't be eating too much because he obviously knows apparently.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
So I think that's the highlight of the highlight of my
Yeah.
week has been that kind of stuff. Ty dealing with his guinea pigs and telling them about their eating habits and diets and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds fun.
So yeah, that's generally it's just been a week really. I've got things to do. And next week is gonna be quite interesting. But we'll see how it goes. Let's talk.
Ah,
Let's
exciting.
let's talk about some telly. Raj, you've been watching
Yeah,
something
you
that
caught my interest. I got a bit, curious, but we're gonna leave it
we can
behind
catch
for
up.
now.
We can
Yeah.
catch up on that
Yeah.
off air. Um,
Sure.
so when it has to do with telly, you've been watching something that I have seen and considered watching. I think I've watched like sort of clips from it, but I haven't started it. So how is Superman and Lois?
Well, first off, I was a bit surprised that I started to watch this series. I didn't really plan to, but then it just showed up, in my feed and everything. So I was like, well, because I might have mentioned at some point that at least I'm pretty sure Annalie, my wife, was like, really? Did we watch that? Because in '93, it was a series called Lewis and Clark. It was like 4 seasons with Terry Hatcher was Lewis. She was quite hot, and everything. La di da. Dean Kane was Superman, and so on and so on. But then I haven't really been watching anything. I mean, there's been another series in between there. I didn't watch that, but then this showed up, and you know, I found it quite charming. I have to
Mhm.
say, it has like everything. It has.
Mm.
romance, and
Hmm.
both romance between adults but also teenagers. It has action, of course. It's Superman and some super bad guys, and those kind of things
Hmm.
going on. It also has a bit of a different scenario because the whole thing when it comes to this series. I'm gonna see if I find my show notes here for it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like their alter egos. Well, at least his is of course Clark Kent, and
Hmm.
he's he meet Lewis as a reporter on Daily Planet, yada yada, and
Hmm.
they fall in love, and things happens and stuff like that, and they actually in this series they take it further. they
Right.
they actually they
They
have
have
a
two kids.
family. Yeah, they have kids, they have teenagers, and
Mm-hmm.
everything that comes with that, and they decide to move. I'm not going to say why because that would be spoiling, but they do move from Metropolis
Hmm.
to Smallville, back to Superman's old home place
Hmm.
thing. And yeah, and again, as I said, it's like when I look at IMDb, it says like superhero, action, adventure, drama, sci-fi. I would add, yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is.
Hmm.
It has a 7.7 on IMDb, and I am definitely there. I'm definitely there. I have been watching quite a few episodes now. I
Hmm.
think I'm pretty far into what season am I in? Because it is 4 seasons.
Hmm.
Because I think this started at, oh, what can I even see that? Yeah, 2021 up till
Hmm.
now. So like 4 years.
Hmm.
Uh, I can recommend this.
Can recommend it.
If you want like a chill night and you kind of like Superman and whatnot, and still are okay with some also high school adventures with younger people and their feelings and emotions and whatnot happens between a boy and a girl in that age,
Hmm.
then definitely I'm gonna continue to watch. I actually got a bit like the feel, when you are looking forward to sit down again and watch something.
Yeah,
I got that when it comes to this series. So Superman and Lewis, yeah, for sure. Give it a try if you
definitely
want
worth
to.
it.
It's yeah, I'm watching it on Max, by the way, if we're talking streaming platforms. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I think
Mm.
here in the UK it's not max. I think if we were so
Yeah,
super because when
probably
I was
something
searching for
else.
it
Yeah,
earlier, I was like, I can't find it on HBO. So here in the
yeah.
UK, we get it on BBC iPlayer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have BBC iPlayer, you can watch it. Which for BBC iPlayer it's free as long as you have a TV license, I guess, or if you
Yeah,
say you have one.
okay.
But generally speaking, yeah, it's on BBC iPlayer to watch here in the UK. So it's like outside of like if you wanted to just purchase a license to watch it on any other platform.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. You have I think I've seen I think portions of the first episode. So the whole concept of his seeing the sons, and one son is he's got like a lot of emotional traumas. He seems to not be able to sort of like deal with the world and to a certain
Yeah.
extent. And then the other son, he's like the jock. He's popular. He's everyone
Yes,
likes him. He's
yes.
cool, and so
Correct.
forth. And Superman having to sort of like navigate being a parent and being a parent to both of them. Being able to say, hey, what, like chill, like let me come in and try to check on him, and he's like, Dad, like, hey, Dad, and he walks in one scene, and he's like, close the door.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like he's thinking his son is opening up to him, but he's like, nah, bro, like, I just need to be alone, kind of thing. His son just
Yep.
the shut in kind of kid, and then yeah, it looked interesting. The only thing I kind of
Yeah.
considered is that is this gonna be like the regular CW kind of Superman stuff that we usually get with well, I shouldn't say Superman but superhero stuff where a lot of it focuses on the drama more so than the story. So you have like a lot of like plot hole stuff that's like, why would he do that? But they do just because of the drama. It's like, oh, let's make it continue on a bit
It
longer.
happens once in a while, but not so much that I get irritated, if that
Right,
makes sense.
right, right.
Which is a good thing. So
Yes.
in my belief, they so far have been balancing those kind of things pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
without getting overboard. You think that, oh my god. It's more if it's someone, I without spoiling it
Mm-hmm.
again. It's one of the youngsters, a
Mm-hmm.
girl that is a bit like, oh come on, no,
Why'd you
why
do
did
that?
you say it? Why did you do that? Why
Mm.
did you do that? No, really, really.
Take full display.
That maybe that, but not so much when it comes to uh, if you go deeper, you could think, of course, why didn't they go there earlier, and
Hmm.
why did he go alone or something like that?
Yeah.
Sure, you can get into those moments, but overall, again, I think they solved that pretty well without making making it like stupid, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think you know what I mean when I say that, because I know what you mean when you talk about it. Sometimes they are serious when you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I can't take this anymore. It happens like every time, and it's the same person or the same, yeah, whatever,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um.
So no, not really. I think I feel for the characters too. I think that's important to say. I think that the casting overall works well too when it comes to the actors and actresses.
Hmm.
They're doing a good job. I have to say,
Hmm.
it's they fit in. They yeah. So apparently, which also means most likely that the script or the what they have been writing overall when it comes to the story is working
Hmm.
pretty well. So it balances out pretty well. I guess that's the my last words about the
Sounds
series.
good.
But yeah, yeah,
Sounds good
you know,
indeed. I think just before I jump into what I've been watching, just to
Mhm.
highlight what Nalu pointed out here, which is
Exactly. I saw that too
the
regarding anime.
UN
Mm.
trying to highly censor anime and manga because they claim it hurts. Sorry, what? Children
Hurts
and
women and
or
children.
women and
Yeah.
children.
Mm.
Generally speaking, I had no idea that was a thing that was going on. To be honest,
Me neither. Me neither.
absolutely no idea that was a thing. But you know where I stand on censorship. I am not a fan of it at all. I don't think.
No,
I don't
me
think
neither.
censoring stuff on any sort of grounds of whether it's political or social
Yeah.
or religious or whatever grounds you want to hold as to why you should censor something. As far as I'm concerned, no. I think let the people choose what
Yeah.
they want to consume to an extent,
Exactly.
especially when it comes to something like television with regards to anime and so forth. I think
Exactly. It's better to have discussions, sane
yeah.
discussions, and
Hmm.
to learn and to, try to, yeah, to learn.
Yeah.
And then you can decide, no, I don't like that and it's not for me. But to
Hmm.
exactly going that down that lane, so to say, when it comes to just start to censoring
Hmm.
stuff, it's usually not a good thing, I
Yeah.
believe, because it's, yeah. So
It's
it's very
very authoritarian.
undynamic. Yeah,
I think it's very authoritarianistic
it
to
is.
just say,
It is
hey, you should do
pointing
this.
fingers. Mm.
Yeah, to me, it's like, look, let people make a decision as to what they want to consume, and quite frankly, in this
Yeah.
day and age, with a lot of the stuff that we have now, when it comes to the kind of shows that you get to choose from, I think anime
Mm.
and manga are some of the best. I think there's
Yeah,
some of
I
the best
mean,
options we have.
then they could maybe start to question. And I mean, I remember also when I was like, I was a teenager during the early 80s
Hmm.
and everything. And I remember, when they start to have this discussion whether video games are violent, or the violent video games like the action or FPS video games, you know,
We're
were
bad.
dangerous, and
Hmm.
people became villains, or even bought a gun and shot someone in real life just because
Hmm.
they were playing a video game. Because that was the thing. I remember that here in Sweden, it was like really, oh, this, it's really, I think we have to kind of overcome that
Yeah.
in many ways. Also, the adults, if you will, or even
Hmm.
politicians, that kind of learned that, well, it's not really related that much, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So censorship once more is again, that's an example of what I just said. It's more about education, learning what is this really about, and how can we talk about this with our children, and
Yeah.
everything, and how could we, those kind of things, more than just say, nope, you can't do that. We have to. This has to be forbidden. It's not
Hmm.
good.
I think.
And
Mhm.
kind of interesting that, sorry, that UN comes in. Say UN has been saying and doing some weird stuff lately. I think, to be honest, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Uh,
I
I,
don't know. I don't get it.
I googled it. I can't find any official statement from the UN about it. What I can see is sort of like something that someone posted from, looks like a Reddit post that someone just like sort of like posted something from it. So I don't see any official
Okay.
thing from the
Yeah.
UN. So I think this is more of the, I guess, probably along the rumor mill kind of thing, unless of course we can find an official statement from the
Yeah.
UN's saying that. I'm not saying it, putting it outside of their capacity to do something as such, but I can't find anything directly to do you. And within the short period of time that we've found out about his meaning now,
Right.
but generally speaking, I think I think as it stands, I think you let people make a decision as to what they want to consume for the most part. I think
Yeah.
every person is going to make their decision based on that. And I think more so than anything else, I think the stuff we consume, like the television that we consume, yes, it does have an impact on us as individuals, as people. But I think more so what has an impact on us is the kind of upbringing that we get from our parents. I think if
Yep.
we have a solid grounding from our parents, I think it doesn't matter what we consume. I mean, I'm not saying that no games that you play, the television that you watch, don't have any impact. I think at a young age there is a certain a certain thing where as a parent you have to make decisions. Like I make decisions with my kids where it's like, okay,
Yes.
they're not playing these types of games because I don't think it's appropriate for them, or they're not watching these kind
Exactly.
of shows because it's not appropriate for them, because the way their world
Mm.
view is and how their brain is developing and stuff like that, it's not the right time for them to consume something like this. But as they get older and they formed a proper worldview, and they have a proper moral value of good and bad and all that kind of stuff, like whatever they play is them. Like, I can't be bothered, really and
Yes.
truly.
Yes. No. But yeah. True.
So it really and truly, censorship should never be a thing. I think it should come down to the parents as to what they decide they want their kids to consume.
Yes.
And because at the same time, if a child does something wrong in society, the parents are held responsible. And I think rightly so. I think if your
Yeah.
kid does something really bad, the parents are usually held responsible for the thing that the kid did.
Mm.
Right. And in so doing it sort of puts that onus on the parents to do a better job to raise their kids. If you're not doing a good enough job to raise your kid and your kid goes out there and does something wrong. And I see this as a parent who I've had both sides of the coin. I've had where my youngest, he gets into a lot of trouble, and I'm always like, what do we do? We need to solve this. We need to fix it. Whereas my
Mm.
oldest, he usually doesn't. He's just like
Mm.
perfectly well behaved, no issues. Whenever something happens to him in school, someone else messing with him. Whereas my youngest, he's doing something to someone else, and I'm just like, oh, why are you doing this, buddy? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but at the end of the day, what as a parent, my thing is I try my best, and I to keep pushing him to improve. Be a better person.
Exactly.
This is right
Good.
and wrong. We need to make good decisions in life and all sorts of stuff. I keep trying to hammer that into him, from a mental level. Like I talk to him a lot. And that's something my mom did when I was growing up. She talked a lot. Like she constantly kept reiterating the same thing over and over and over until it sort of stuck.
Yeah. Right.
So I think, yeah, when it comes to that, yeah, that's the thing. I shared a few things on this right to oh yeah, I'll have to check that out in Discord later. No, I won't have time to check it at the moment. That being said,
Hmm?
let's
What about
talk
you?
about
Yeah.
what I've been
What?
watching. I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
now Lexi just posted in the chat about Dan, but I'm not going to talk about that this week. It's going to be next week. I'll talk about that next week because I think we're coming like 5 episodes in, and I want to get it up to 6, and then we'll talk about it next week. So
Good.
it's gonna be fine. We'll talk about it next week. I'll make the show notes and everything fit this today, so you'll see it pop up either during the podcast or after. Anyway, that being said, what I want to talk about is the what do you call it? I had the name in front of me. I think it's the Duke and His Maid. I think
Oh.
that's the name of it. The Duke of Death and His Maid. Sorry. The
Oh.
Duke of Death and His Maid. Now, I'm not sure if I can't remember if I've spoken about this before, but I just want to go into it now and sort of give it a bit more time to talk about it a bit more
Sure.
now. So I've been watching this on Crunchyroll. This is an anime that, surprisingly, Universal Studios are the ones that I guess are publishing this. So when it starts, you
Okay.
see the whole Universal kind of globe thing come up, and you're like, oh, they do anime now.
Yeah. I
So
recognize this. Yeah.
I know what this is. So
Yeah.
so I've been watching the Duke and the Duke of Death and His Maid, and the whole storyline essentially is that there's this guy, and he got cursed by a witch when he was young, and the witch
Mm.
cursed him to the point where he cannot touch anything that's living, or it will die. So if he touches a person, they die. He touch a flower, it will die. And it's not just like physically from his actual skin. If it's thin clothing, like a pair of gloves or a shirt or something, and it's touched directly, and he'll still, the thing or person or whatever will pass away. So
Wow.
he's
Poor
young.
guy. I mean, seriously.
It is. It's quite the ordeal. And the thing is, he's he's a very sensitive guy. He's not like this brutish, mean spirited kind. He's just like a really nice, sweet guy, and he's been
Mm.
ostracized from society. His family is super rich though because he's a duke. So they've sent him off to live in a manor, like they have, like rich people have like a
Yeah,
set
yeah,
type of
yeah.
house somewhere in the wilderness, and he lives there with his butler and his maid. Those are the two people that live with him. Now his butler
Oh,
moved with him initially. The maid, she came to live with him recently, and she's young. She's the same age as him, around the same age, and she's cute. She's like this cute maid with like massive boobs and stuff like that, and
but of
basically
course, yeah.
and this is like they dress all medieval kind of like style. So he's wearing like a shirt and a tie and all this stuff all the time, and she's wearing like like the corsets, that push up the bosom and all that kind of thing. So she the thing for her is that she constantly flirts with him like all the time, and
Mm.
makes all these sort of like sexual innuendos towards him constantly, and she knows he can't touch her, so it's like torture to him. He's like, he'd be
Oh.
like, "Oh, Alice, don't like, why would you do that? Don't torture me." Oh, and she'll come up and she'd be like, "Oh, Duke, um, like if you want, you can just rest your head on my chest," and she'd just open out her bosom like that, and he'd be like, "Oh," so it's like, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
count to 10, count to 10. Yeah, exactly.
he
One,
struggles. He
two.
struggles so
Yeah,
hard,
yeah.
but he really likes her like a lot. Like he's really into her, and the thing is, she seems to similarly be really into him. So there's like this romantic, this unrequited love between the two of them. She teases him a lot, but she loves him, and for him, like he genuinely loves her. Like he'd do anything for her, essentially. But at the same time, he can't ever be physical with her. He can't hold her hand. He can't give her a kiss. None of it.
Oh.
And he's been throughout the story. He's trying to find ways to break the curse, and no matter how close he gets, he just never gets to like break the case. At least as far as I've gotten to in the story.
Wow.
And but it's a really sweet story because you see
Mm.
a lot, like through the story they find different ways to express their love for each other without being physical. So
Yeah.
like there's one
Yeah.
scene where they're sitting in a room during the moonlight, and they're talking to each other. And Alice wants they want to dance together, and so they stand next to each other with their hands up as if they were holding each other, but they're not touching, and they're dancing side by side and trying
Oh.
to experience that sort of romance. Or for example, them laying down together side by side, but not touching, and just staring at each other, like that romance, that sweet romance that you can't touch it, like at one point she falls ill, and he has to take care of her, but he can't touch her. So he comes to her a little hut that she lives in next to his manor, and he's like, what's going on? Like, like he's trying his best to try to take care of her, but he can't really touch her, so he has to like tell her what to do for herself, and he sits by her the whole night as she rests and so forth. Or a scene where they're on a boat and he falls out of the boat, and is it him or her? I can't remember which one fell out, but they couldn't reach to grab the person as they're falling. They had to like reach and
Oh.
pull back the hand and hope that that they're okay. Like, it's a really sweet story, I have to say.
Mm.
The Duke of Death and his maid is easily one of the sweetest anime stories right now that you can watch. I'm in love. I think it's a sweet story. And IMDb gives it a 7.2 out of 10. I'll give it a 9. I think it's sugar sweet. I like the voice acting for it. I think the whoever does the guy, his voice is sort of breaking every time he says something. It sounds kind of like, "Oh, but Alice." He's like got this sort of like, "Oh."
Okay.
He comes off it's kind of wimpy, but at the same time kind of sugar sweet, because he's
Mm.
innocent. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and for Alice, oh, Alice is she's a bombshell. So
Yeah.
easy waifu right there. But yeah,
Imagine if he gets that spell away. Oh,
oof,
so much built up. Whew,
so
that
much built up
steam that has
tension.
to get out. Oh
I
man.
it's gonna be a lot because Alice will be walking by and he'll say, "Oh, Alice, you seem to always wear the same outfit," which she does. He's like, don't you think you should mix it up a bit?" Because he's thinking, "Oh, you know what? She's always wearing this black maid outfit. Like it's sort of like she's
Exactly.
mourning someone's death. Like the whole outfit looks like something that someone would wear at a funeral." right? Like a widow outfit. And because he's imagining her in his mind, like marrying him. So he's imagining her in a
Yeah, yeah,
white
yeah,
dress
yeah.
and all. And she's like, oh, your Dukeness. I'm like, well, I could just all take it off, you know. And she pulls her skirt up and shows him like her sort of like fishnet leggings kind of thing she's got on. And
Oops.
he's just sort of like, oh, Alice, oh, he looks so weird. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course, as said. Oh, that's gonna be tough, man. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's absolutely to die for. I have to say, it's very sugar sweet, very nice indeed. And the Duke of Death is Maid. Go watch it. It's on Crunchyroll. If you want to check it out. And one of the things I've started noticing a lot of anime that is on Crunchyroll is also like it also happens to also be on Netflix and other platforms at the same exact time. So keep in mind if you don't have Crunchyroll, you might find some of these stuff that we're watching, like Dan Da Dan, the one I'm going to mention next week, is on
Mm.
Netflix and Crunchyroll at the same time. So even if you don't have
Ah,
Crunchyroll, you can
okay,
watch it.
yeah.
I'm not sure with the Duke of Death and his Maid. I haven't. All I can see is a Crunchyroll link so far, but it might be on other platforms as well. So
Hmm.
um, look out for it if you other stuff. If you don't have Crunchyroll,
Cool.
if you do, you're safe. You know, just watch on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Hmm.
Yeah. So
Sounds
uh,
good. Yeah.
that's the tele for it for this week. Gaming Rush. Been
Yes.
playing. Oh wow,
Let's talk about
my
some
mic
video
has
games.
moved in a weird way. Oh.
Yeah, it was doing taking its own little turn over there. Well, as seen also here on on the screen in the podcast and the stream, still playing the Black Ops 6 campaign, and I really like it. I continue. I streamed it on what is it today? It's Wednesday, Sunday, I believe. Yes, and no, well, I've streamed it recently and continued like probably 75% into the campaign now, and it's good. I understand that people have been speaking well about it, and I've hear also people say that the zombies are fun. I haven't tried that yet. It's supposed to be good this year, so I'm gonna try that later. But yeah, that I've been doing. And then I also played a game I've talked about already, which is Bloodstrike. This free to play, like yeah, shooter game apparently, but also it's a battle royale game that was released a bit more than a year ago. But it was released on Steam on October 18, I believe. So that's why also I made a video about it recently. I
Yeah.
guess I talked about this before, but I continue to play it a bit,
Mhm.
to have something else on the side, not really caring too much, but still have some fun. And I played some battle royale. I played ranked because there was more like real players there too, because they also mix up the lobby with some bots and whatnot. So, but yeah, it's a decent game for what it is. I mean, again, it's like if you guys know about like Call of Duty Mobile, you can think about that kind of game that also has respawn game modes, but also some, battle royale action, and it's the same here since you can play like Warzone on the mobile as well in Call of Duty Mobile. So yeah, it's pretty chill. It's gonna be interesting to see how the game is doing later down the line. I mean, they've been smart though. It's cross play and you can play between the devices. There's no. I have to think now. Is there? There's no. Yeah, it's only PC and mobile.
Mhm.
There's no console version yet. I think they're working on controller support, I believe, but
Mhm.
I don't know more. That's all I've heard. So
I
so
think I
we'll
think
see about that.
I think that's something that's pretty cool in the sense that they're working on having that cross platform because I think more than anything else I think nowadays when it comes to making a multiplayer game I'm always shocked when you see developers putting out a multiplayer game and it's just tied to one console. To me it makes no sense in this day and age. You
Yeah,
have
yeah, no,
so many people on
yeah,
so many different platforms, especially like
yeah,
shooters and stuff like that. People have friends on different platforms. Like let's say for example, like I play eFootball. I
yes,
have some friends who play on the PS5 because that's their preferred platform. I have some friends
exactly.
who play on the PC, and I have a lot of friends who play on the Xbox. And
Right,
though I
right.
tend to play on the Xbox the most, I mean I have all the consoles, so I can choose where I want to play. I
Yeah.
prefer playing on the Xbox fit. But the thing is that it locks me in because I've invested so much of my time on the Xbox version of it.
Hmm.
When it comes to playing with my friends on the PC or the PlayStation 5, if ever I boot up the game on there, I have a whole different squad that's not as well leveled up and not as well invested into to play with them. So I'm always playing at a handicap in a sense when I play on other
Hmm.
platforms. And when they come over onto Xbox, it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think more so than anything else, I think if you're a developer and you're making a game that's gonna be multiplayer,
Yeah.
think multi-platform as your first thing. It should be highest priority. Let's
Yeah, yeah,
make
yeah.
this game multi-platform. Let's make sure that
Yes.
people can connect no matter what platform they're on. PlayStation, Xbox, Twitch, PC. And I think that's the thing with Fortnite. Why Fortnite has done so well as well. I think it's a game where it doesn't matter what you're on. You can play with your friends. You could
Exactly.
be on any platform and you log
Yeah.
in and you have your account and you're playing with your friends no matter where. And I think that's what a lot of
Sure.
developers need to start thinking when it comes to their games. Make sure that
No,
it's
but it's
cross-save.
true. You're so right about that. Especially nowadays, I think it's a must.
Yeah.
With the competition and everything. As you said, it should be there more or less on day one.
Hmm.
I guess with a game like this, of course, it was originally made for mobile
Yeah.
devices. I'm not sure what their plans were initially, but that's what it was. But the port, when it comes to PC, is good and it's quite well optimized game.
Hmm.
And one of those games, like it doesn't take, I think it's 11.63 gigabytes or something. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't eat up your hard drive as, for example, Call of Duty does. As an example or a contrast at least. But yeah, that's how it is. I totally agree with you. A good example now also is, of course, when Activision finally decided to also put their games. The game before Black Ops 6 was also up on or is up on Xbox Game Pass.
Yes.
Modern Warfare 3. So that's great. And of course, now also with the release of Black Ops 6, they decided to continue. So you can also play with friends on Xbox Game Pass, which I've done. I played with I played with Adam, by the way, this weekend a bit. That was some time ago. We haven't really been playing much for years. And that also has to do with that. I mean, he has Xbox Game Pass, so it's
Yeah.
easy peasy. And it's good. And I have another friend, another Swede. I mentioned him, Vuk or Vuklund, he's called, that I play a bit with together with now and then. And he has a Game Pass. It's not really like a Call of Duty player per se,
Hmm.
which I don't consider myself to be either in a way. But I've played much more than he has, for example, when it comes to the franchise. So he just has it on Xbox Game Pass because it's possible, and it really doesn't cost much, right? Because
Yeah.
you just pay for the
Subscription.
monthly fee, subscription. Even though they
They've
Okay, they
raised the
raised
prices.
the prices they have for sure, but still, I still think it's a good thing. Like
Hmm.
it's price worthy, especially if you are one of those guys that are playing at least maybe 3, 4 titles in the catalog.
Yes.
Then already there you've saved a lot of money, compared to what you would pay if you really buy the games.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I think if it's because like I canceled my subscription for Game Pass, not because I think it's a bad deal per se, but I think if I don't play as many of the games on it for
exactly,
to hold the value of it. Now, granted, when my sons were playing more games, because right now they've been
yeah,
playing less gaming. We've been focusing more on spending time reading and other things like that.
yeah, yeah,
So they're,
good,
they're doing
good,
less gaming time, and when they do game, they're playing other stuff. Like Ty's really into Astro's Playroom on PlayStation,
ah,
so
yeah,
he's
right,
not usually jumping on the Xbox. And with Savvy, he's more of a PC gamer now. He when
yeah,
he gets a chance, he hops on his PC and he plays more stuff on there.
mm,
Thanks to the whole Steam family sharing and all that kind of stuff. So I think generally speaking, for us as a family, we're not the only person that was using it was me. And when it came down to it, I was like, well, I'm not
yeah,
playing as many games on it on a month-to-month basis. I ended up canceling
no.
it. But yeah, it's
But it's the same, actually same for me as just one individual. I
mhm.
I jump on and off when it comes to
Yes.
Xbox Game Pass.
Hmm.
Now I haven't had a membership for maybe 2, 3 months,
Yeah.
but if there's like one game that I really really want to play, but I don't want to buy it because
Hmm.
70, $80 maybe, I don't know,
Money.
whatever it costs. But then it's worth it
Yeah.
because I can play through the game. Maybe I even stream it for like a month, and then nice. And then I cancel the membership, and it's good. It's a good thing.
I think the one I think the
Price
one
worthy.
thing though, and I think I'm not sure if it's the EU, some international body has been talking about yes, enforcing laws for this particular thing is essentially making it a lot easier for people to cancel subscription, because I think that to me has been my issues, that a lot of the times I think like you, I'll just turn it on for a little bit and I'll turn it off after, and 9 times out of 10 I forget I have a subscription with something,
Oh yes, yeah.
know.
That you have to really keep track of, and
Yeah.
as you said, it's not really that like simple. You
Hmm.
have to know way to do that and in time and all that stuff, because otherwise, which has happened to me, I also forgotten, and then oh shit, and then I see I get a mail, Microsoft has, just blah blah blah,
They've charged you.
10 quid, whatever, and okay, another month. Well, then I have to
Get to use
remind
the
myself at
phone.
at the end of the next month. So there you go.
Yeah. They need to make it
It is.
very easy to end a subscription as you started. And I think there are laws coming into place to sort of like make it so that just as easy as it is to make a subscription, it should be as easy to end the subscription. I think
Yeah.
that's fair. Fair is fair. It should be just as easy to make, just as easy to end. So
I agree.
that being said,
Yes.
did I talk about a game? I can't remember.
Not really.
Not really. I've been playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I've been playing Ratchet and
Yeah,
Clank.
I saw that, bro. Yeah, yeah. Go on. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I put this on to play because like I was going through stuff on my PC and Ty was just sitting here in my lap and we were just chatting and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, a lot of the games that I want to play, I can't play in front of Ty because he's a 6-year-old and I have to be mindful of what I play in front of him. I can't like
Sure.
I played a Final Fantasy game in front of him.
Mm.
He was nearby. And the character cursed. I didn't expect the character was gonna curse. Dropped a full F bomb. Ty goes to school the next day and drops an F bomb in school. So so
Okay, well, video games might have a bit of an impact.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But again, I think it has to do with personality. Ty just copies people.
Yeah,
So
sure,
like
sure, sure,
whenever
sure.
someone says or does something in front of him, he repeats it. So it's
True.
he's very much the kind of personality, like the person that he will copy. Xavi wasn't like that. He's never been like, oh, I'll just copy exactly what you do. He will he likes to copy people, but he picks and choose what he like. He likes to copy, like for example, like Lex, my older brother. When he does, he likes his way of doing things and his style, and or my brother Ash, he'll do the same thing with him. So Zavi, he's like his uncles are the ones that he tends to copy. He doesn't do that for me. He's not like, oh well, dad does this, so I'm gonna do that. Nah, he's not doing that. Ty is just like he's like a sponge. Around anyone, he picks up something. Like if you came wrong, Raj, and there was something that you did. Let's say, for example, the way you make your breakfast. All of a sudden, he wants to do his breakfast exactly the same way. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
or like how you go to the gym and you go for your walks. All of a sudden, Ty's like, "Look, Daddy, I need to go on my walks. Can't not be having these
Yeah,
walks.
yeah,
Uncle
yeah.
Roger does these walks. I need to do my
Yeah.
walks. This is how it is. He just
Mm-hmm.
like that. So the thing is, with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I was just like, this seems very safe. I can put this on for him, and we can watch this. And we're in the game, and he's sitting down there, and he's like, "Oh, shoot the bomb, use the mister, blah blah blah." And so we sat down and we had a little time playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on the PC, and I have to say the game runs buttery smooth. Whatever Sony's
Nice.
doing, the PlayStation publishing team, Nexus software and so forth, they're doing an amazing job with regards to these ports to the PC. Literally, I have had no PlayStation game so far that I've played that has been ported to the PC that has chugged. And especially with we've got Horizon, not Horizon, sorry, Spider-Man 2 coming in January, right? And I believe Horizon Forbidden West is also on its way to the PC as well. With these sort of games coming over, I'm just like excited at this point because
Yeah.
pretty much actually Forbidden West is already on PC. Came out on March the 21st. Pretty much everything that has been dropped on the PC from the PlayStation team has just been a hit. And I think at the same time as well, picking them up on PC, you get them on sale. Like I usually get them at like 50% off. Usually, I will probably be picking up Spider-Man 2 at 50% off. I will probably be picking up Horizon at 50% off. Same for God of War Ragnarok. Grab it 50% off. It's alright. It's all good. And the
Of course.
ports the
Yeah,
ports run really well. I think in a lot of cases as well, some of these games, on PC you also have mods. I don't usually use a lot of mods, but some of these games I could see myself using mods in. For example, like Spider-Man, I could mod Spider-Man because it's a superhero game and there's a lot of weird things you can do, and some things you can take out that maybe you don't want in the game. And with God of War, I think I'll just leave it as is. It's very story heavy and beautiful, and I like how it looks and everything like that. So I'll live with God of War for the most part. But yeah, I just have to say, it's a good time to be alive. as a PC gamer, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
Uh,
but it's nice to hear that you play. I mean, for me, yeah, I played some Ratchet and Clank
mhm,
back in the days. It's good games usually, fun to play.
yeah,
I like it. So,
very good
but which
games.
one was this? Is this the newest one? I've lost track when it
This
comes to
is
the
the newest
series.
one,
But
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which
yeah.
released on the PC on the 26th of July 2023. And
Mm.
this was the game, the flagship game that Sony said, "Oh, it can't run on anything else." Blah 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 blah. PlayStation SSD. Blah 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 blah. No, it runs on my PC perfectly fine. No, no blah blah blah.
No, blah blah blah.
It runs perfectly fine on my PC, and it looks amazing. It plays amazingly. I've just been having a lot of fun with it, messing around in the game and doing a bunch of stuff. Sony do have they try to incentivize you to connect your PlayStation Network account to your games on the PC. I think the incentive in Ratchet and Clank is if you connect your account, you get 25 Raritanium, which is the currency you use to level up some of your abilities.
Ah,
So
okay.
I
Yeah.
might actually do that for the Veritarium. I mean, might.
Oh, well, why not?
But generally speaking, I have to say this game is it's Ratchet and Clank at its best. It's wacky, it's zany. You've got all these
Yeah.
weird characters and you have new mechanics and so forth. And it's very skill based like Ratchet and Clank has always been. You can get taken down by enemies. You have to be thinking and moving and using all your different weapons in your arsenal against your opposition and so forth. So it's very much Ratchet and Clank. As if you've ever played Ratchet and Clank and you've ever liked them as games, this is just more Ratchet and Clank. Really good, gorgeous looking graphics on the PC, and I've been using the upscaling features from AMD, and they have been looking great as well. I can't say that it's I can't say it's the best I've seen when it comes to upscaling because I think my monitor hinders it, but I think it looks great and it performs
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
And maybe in future, if I get a new monitor or when I get a new monitor, I will be able to run it with some like frame reductions. So like you could maybe like with what do you call it? What's that thing AMD does where you can I think they do where your frame rate is like matched by your monitor and your PC. It's kind of like
Aha, yeah. I know what you
FreeSync.
mean. Yeah,
FreeSync.
yeah,
It's
exactly, right.
hopefully I
Mm-hmm.
can get back on that FreeSync lifestyle and I can get
Mm-hmm.
perfect frames, 144 hertz and all that kind of stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. But thus far, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, great on the PC. It's very positive on Steam. I concur with that. It's 7 plus is the age for it. It's got fear and violence. That's why they're giving it a 7 plus. It's Steam Deck verified. I have played on the Steam Deck. It runs nice on the Steam Deck. It has slower loading times when it comes to like transition in between areas. But
Yeah,
other than
yeah,
that, during gameplay, it runs smooth. So there's no issue there. It's single player, got cloud support, Steam achievements, and it's family sharing as well. With
awesome.
Xbox controller and PlayStation Sense controller support. I highly recommend using the PlayStation controller because you do get that haptic feedback in it. So, like for example, as Ratchet is walking in different environments, you feel the vibration as it changes as he's moving through,
Mm.
as well as the fact that when you pull the triggers, it tightens up and loosens up based on certain things that you do.
Aha, okay.
So yeah, it is pretty cool. You get a bunch of new characters, and I'm looking forward to how the story goes, and I'm intrigued by every little thing. Doctor Nefarious is wacky and zany as usual. It is cool, honestly. Ratchet and Clank Rift
Nice.
Apart,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely a cool game. Can't say anything less about it. I think if you do have a PC, I think it's a worthy pickup, especially if you grab it on sale. You're doing yourself a lot of service. And I think of all games as well, this has so many language options, like audio language options. Like English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Dutch, Danish, Finnish, Japanese, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese. Let's see, Swedish is in here. Swedish is in here as well. Spanish, Swedish, Arabic, Russian, and these are all like voiced languages, not just
Yeah,
like
it's
text.
it's amazing.
That
It's
is
not only
so
text, right? Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you can listen to the
Mm.
characters, and I actually would love to hear what the characters sound like in different languages. I think what I'm gonna do
Yeah,
is I'll probably put it on in Polish and see what Alex thinks about it. Like she'll be like,
of course.
how
Yeah,
cool is
yeah,
it? So yeah, I think I'll try it in Polish, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, highly recommend. I would say, yeah, if you have PC, pick it up. PlayStation 5, if you don't have PS5, I would still say pick it up as well. I would say don't buy it from the PlayStation Store. Though try to get it used, or
Yeah.
because it's been out for a while. You probably get it cheaper if you buy it from shops or something like that. A
Yes.
lot of games like this tend to lose their value after about a year or two. I think on Amazon here in the UK you can get it for £36.99 if you buy it used. Sorry, £43 pounds. So when it came out, I think it was 70. £43 is a good price. um, I would say yeah, and on PC, well, it's £49.99 to begin with. But if you shop around, I'm sure you'll find some PC storefront CD keys or whatever else that's gonna have it for a much
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
price. So yeah, um, yeah, that's about it. That's what I've been playing.
Nice.
So I've been playing
It
video
sounds
games.
good, man.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
A classic franchise. That's beautiful.
Indeed, indeed,
I'm
indeed.
happy that these games are still around, you know.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Because I've not too long ago, Isaac went back and played one of the older games.
Rayman.
Maybe, yeah,
Ooh la
I think
la.
you remember Rayman.
I do
Yeah.
remember Rayman.
So yeah, I played the first one at least, I think. But well, you see, yeah. But I guess that's you have anything
No, no,
else
no.
to add to
I think
see
that's.
equation?
I think we have a podcast, level. I think we've.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
I think
think
so too.
we've covered all the thingamajobs that we've wanted to cover today. I do say so
Yeah.
myself.
It's kind of interesting. I wanted to say I didn't want to break up here when you were talking about what you have been gaming, but just this sequence that we see right now, actually in the stream, when I was uh, playing the Black Ops 6 campaign,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I got yeah, the game crashed actually, just froze and then it crashed.
Ooh la la.
Like yeah, so like oh my god. But that is something I've heard on the negative side of things with the game or the campaign. It can happen. Can
Mm.
happen.
Is
But
it does it happen a lot, or is it just like it
no,
happens on
for
occasion?
me, if I think about it, this has been the only one so far. And now I played, as said, maybe 75%, 4 hours plus,
That's
I
not bad.
guess. So no, it's not bad, of course.
Bad at
But
all.
it's you know, it's
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 modern gaming
it's
for you at the end of the day as well. I
yeah,
mean,
no, that's true. That's true. Well, starting to get used to that, I guess.
gaming
But
is
that's also
that.
not, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
Is what it is
But with
indeed.
that said, yeah, it's time to close shop. I think. I just want to say, as always, I'm just appreciate that you guys are here. Thank you for the support. Thanks for listening to us and watching. And I hope you're gonna have a good continuation of your week. I'm gonna try to do the very best when it comes to mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope to talk to you soon again. I hope it's going to be a week from now, and I say hope. I don't know yet if or when I'm going to fly up north in Sweden to visit my mom, but I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But even so, take care, have a beautiful one, and as I always say, stay healthy and enjoy life to the fullest. So with that, muffin and out.
Mm, beautiful as always. And if you do happen to have to fly out on next week, to go visit your mom, uh, just for the viewers, I will do a live stream. If Roger doesn't, if he's gone for the week, we'll do a live stream. I'll do a live stream so that you guys can have something where we chat and have a moment and so forth, and then we'll just continue the podcast from when Roger gets back. So yeah, so just giving you a heads up. Next week I'll still be
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
um,
yeah. We'll
but
see. As
we'll
I
see.
said, I have to decide tomorrow. That's how it's gonna
Make
be.
this as I said.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Make
Yeah,
the decision based on what you think is best with regards to your mom. I think priority, family first
absolutely.
always, and then
Yeah,
we'll move the podcast around accordingly. So it's
sure.
perfectly fine. So with that, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Roger, did you do that? Did you do your outro?
Yep,
Why do I
I
feel
have done it.
why do I feel like you haven't? There's a side
I
of me.
have. I mean, I can do it again, but that would be a bit tedious for the. But
I think I'm
I don't
getting
know.
old. I
Yeah,
think because
it's
like
like
I'm pretty sure there's a side in the back of my mind. I'm thinking I'm pretty sure I just did beautiful as always. But then at the same time I'm thinking did I do? Did I?
yeah,
I don't even
yeah.
know. Oh,
No, but I know the feel. Sometimes it's like, did this really happen, or am I imagining things?
oh, Alice, please no, I don't remember. Oh,
Yeah.
Alice.
Mhm.
Anyway,
I watched the clip. This is between you and me. Sorry, guys,
yeah.
but I did watch the clip. I understand what you're talking about.
She
There we go.
teases him so much. I love it.
Yeah, it's great, actually.
Oh my god, I'm just like,
Yeah,
yes, go on, Alice, tease him.
yeah.
And
Oh man,
I feel
poor
bad for him
guy.
at the same time. I'm like, oh my god, he wants to reach out and grab her, but she'll die if he
Hmm.
does. And he's like, no, I want you so much, but I can't have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Anyway, that being said, thank you very much for listening to this episode of That Beautiful Life podcast. You can find Roger pretty much everywhere else at 40 Space Plus System of 40 with an SPL with SPLASH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Lost my tongue there for a second. So that's why it's
Mhm.
Splash pretty much everywhere else. You can find me at WGardens, Garden.you. I stream sporadically. At the moment, I do stream eFootball on the channel Simply eFootball, which you can subscribe to on YouTube. And yeah, I sporadically stream on there based on the nights that I'm up and playing, and I feel like I'm gonna log on and do a stream. So you can look out for that. And you can find us pretty much everywhere else at Simply Binge, pretty much everywhere else. So at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK, pretty much everywhere else. Simply Binge was down last week. It got hit from a DDoS
Sure.
attack and malware, and couldn't use the site for a whole week. It is back up this week. I'm
Good.
still like I haven't uploaded anything onto the site since it's been back up. I've just been sort of like trying to like do some stuff in the back end, trying to you know I've sort of like put precautions in place to prevent what happened from happening in future again.
Yeah.
But it cost me some money. It cost me 20 quid actually to get it back up
Oh,
and running.
typical.
Because
Typical.
just you know a bit of advice for anyone who's looking to build to get a new website and so forth. If you're picking a server host, I used to recommend GoDaddy. I do not recommend them anymore. I think a lot of what so for example security and all that kind of stuff, so I pay for SSL. I pay or I used to. Now it's included in my package that I have now. But with GoDaddy, I had some of the worst tech support from them last week, to the point where I wanted to just like on the phone. I was just like, oh, where is this guy on the phone? Like I was dealing with a tech support guy, and he just sounded like a complete a-hole. He's just like rude and disrespectful. I was like what's wrong with you, mate? Like seriously. And then after I got some good tech support, like I ended the call and I called back, because I understand, when it comes to these sort of stuff, it's different people. So if I call again,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
get someone else, and I got someone else who was helpful and they helped me with all the stuff. But I had to pay in the end for their
Yeah.
security plan, because what the guy suspected, which I was suspecting as well, is that the site was infected with something. And when he said, well, we can't do anything about it. You have to pay us for our security team to come in and do something about it. So I did. I paid the price, and it was a whole back and forth with the security team, having to email them to give them permission to do this
Yeah,
and
of
that, and back
course.
and
It's a
forth. And
lot of
then
work. Yeah.
it was completely unnecessary. Even the way that it was cumbersome, because they would email you and then you'd have to go onto their platform and go through a bunch of different pages just to get to a specific portal where you can tell them what you need to tell them to do.
Sure.
And in the end, I think if they're the host, they should have access to be able to go in and just fix stuff if they need to.
Yeah.
As long as you give them your security codes and everything like that to begin with, they should not have to ask you anything else, which
No.
fortunately they didn't. In the end, they inevitably got rid of the malware and did whatever they had to do and so forth. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I put some precautions in place, and that cost me 20 quid for the month. It's 20 quid per month for the security package for them to keep tracking it. It's too expensive, honestly. Now
Yes.
I've got a long running thing with GoDaddy, and I've been using them for so long and so forth. So what I am going to do is I am going to phone them at some point and let them know, hey, I do want to stick with you, right? I would love to, because my whole stuff is all set up there. Having to shift hosts is
Yeah.
a hassle, but I will shift to another host like Ionis, for example, because they offer that exact security package along with the exact package I get from GoDaddy right now,
Yeah.
in a one-time package, which it's one price, and I'm not paying this extra fee. And I think
Exactly.
if they would charge me like that, give me a package where I'm getting secure, because I think security is a priority. I don't think I should have to get security as a separate thing for my website. I think they should supply that. You're my server host. You're gonna be
Yeah.
tracking stuff and seeing things that I'm not gonna be seeing half the time.
Mm.
That should be in the package.
No, I
But
believe you're right. Yeah.
they don't include it in the package, and for
Yeah.
that reason, I'm thinking to switch that to something like Ionis, because they include that in their package. And currently, right now,
Yeah.
Ionis is ranked as the number one silver host in the world right now. So I'm very much leaning towards these guys. I think they're doing good things. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might switch, might not switch. Depends on how things go.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
that being said, the site is back up. Hopefully during the week you'll see some new stuff on there after I finish tidying up everything. But other than that, it is what it is. So with that, guys, as always, we wouldn't like you guys to miss another episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like to subscribe to this podcast and Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and Binge, comment elsewhere, and with something gonna like it that we're giving it for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. And it's a wrap. That's the episode. Oh, Alice, please no.
It was great. It was nice to see the clip. I mean, in my head, when I actually, when you were talking about the series, I went in to see what it was all about. I read a bit and I saw some pictures. I started to get some pictures of my own in my head. It was actually it's well done. It's actually very, as you said, it's cute and very, in a way, innocent, but at the same time, not really. It's really,
No,
yeah. We feel and know what it's going towards, but yeah, this guy has his hands tied behind his back.
And as a bloke, as a red blooded bloke, that do likes the lady cheeks. It's when you see what he's going through, you think you feel for him. You start thinking, oh my god, I'm sorry to hear it, buddy. I wish you weren't suffering like that. The horrors, just imagining the girl that you like the most, and she's there next to you and teasing you all the time, pulling the skirt up. Look at my legs, look at my titties, and you can't even have it. She lays down next to you and she gets right up next to your face and she says, "How are you doing?" And you can't do anything with it. You're like, no. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, that's a weird one. Yeah,
it is pretty good.
Weird scenario.
But good way.
In a good way.